Hi, this is Gary Auden. I'm bringing you an Educast, How to Make More Profit, sponsored by Bicom Systems and Telecom Reseller. And today we have two of us talking. I'm Gary Auden, president of Delphi, and with me is Kevin Langford, telecom sales expert at Bicom Systems. And as we always do, let's talk about what we're going to talk about. The point that's most important through this entire presentation is partnership with the right party makes success. But we're also going to talk about the back office. We're going to talk about innovation, customer service, and the like. But one of the points I want to make here is what our theme is about today is not about reselling a service, that voice over IP, because you just make commission. You could white label a service, make a bit more money, but you make the most profit by actually building and deploying a good VoIP system. But most people think that's just installing a switch. There's much more behind the scenes that you have to do to make this profitable and workable, and that's what Kevin and I are going to talk about. So let's go to our first major thing. How do we make sure we make this profitable?
Thanks, Gary. Really, to make more profit, you got to make sure all the pieces of the telecom puzzle are all in the right place. You need reliability and stability of a product to stand behind. It's great having a nice fancy BMW or Ferrari, but if the wheels don't stay on the car, you ain't going to go nowhere. Scalability that can be attained and sustained. In other words, you start something small and you can grow from there. A lot of instances and a lot of solutions out there. This is what your box is. This is what you get. You got to get the full enchilada. And once you reach capacity, you're kind of stuck and you're, a pot boiling over. Constant innovation to support constant growth. Like I said before, you need to be able to grow with your customers. That way there you can accept more customers and work with it. A lubricated process with enhanced customer support. It's great selling, but if you're not responsive to your customers, you don't keep them happy, they're going to go find someone who will keep them happy. Maximum satisfaction with value-added features and customer solutions. You got to keep up with your features. You got to stay up with the technology. Nice little fancy bling. You need to keep up with it. If you don't, they're going to lose interest. They're going to find something that's cool, and you can't give it to them. They're going to go somewhere else.
You made a point of the word pieces, all of the pieces, but would you go through what you mean by the pieces?
Well, Gary, it's simple. You got a jigsaw puzzle like we got on the picture here, right? You got something that's cost efficient, full compatibility, competitive edge, customer loyalty, telephony, billing, security, unified communication, and mobility. A lot of people out there have just simple switches, and that's it. You got to buy your billing package from someone else. You need to buy your unified communication from someone else. You need to get billings from someone else. In other words, you're farming everything out, which then turns into a support problem down the road, which we'll talk about later on. With everything on one puzzle that's all interconnected, they work that much better. You're not going to have compatibility issues or support issues. And not only that, we'll talk about it later on, but it's really one throat to strangle when something does go wrong and no finger pointing going on.
You mentioned the terms reliable and stable in the previous slide. Would you focus on that a bit more for us?
Sure thing. You need to make sure your product is stable. It's great giving out new versions every 6 months, but if it ain't stable, all it's going to do is upset your customers. Your phone's going to ring off the hook if it works, and they're going to be chasing you down upset. The automakers out there wants to make sure their cars are not going to fall apart when they start driving. You need to make sure your system will not fall apart when you start putting it through with customers and stress. You need to make sure with in-house testing and documentation, benchmark and standards, sometimes certain processors don't get along well with VoIP. Certain operating systems don't like asterisks, vice versa. You got to make sure you test the crap out of your system before releasing it. If you can't eat your own breakfast, you can't eat what you're serving to your customers, don't serve it until you've tasted it and had it. Control everything through the kernel. You need to give redundancy options because things happen. Servers go down, and you need to keep your system updated. If you can't, the features are going to come out. You're not going to be able to keep up with it, and your customers will go find someone who offers it.
Another term you mentioned was the word scalability. What's been your experience with clients and scalability?
You want to be able to attack the whole market, but you can't. You need to start small and grow. So essentially, you need to start from the bottom up. You need to grow your infrastructure. To do that, you need to grow your product and have a great product to stand behind. Then you need the company to back everything up, and then you can penetrate the market. But you can't go backwards on this. It's great attacking the whole market, but start concentrating on one market segment and growing from there with your product and your company. That's what's important.
Another word you mentioned was innovation. And one of the things I think about when I look at VoIP services, many seem to sell it as dial tone with features, and that doesn't seem to be good enough today.
Gary, you're right. Dial tone and features is just like the 1FL, your twisted copper pair that comes to your house. They came out with caller ID and call waiting. Now you got VoIP. You got all the funky features. You got to keep up with the research, the ongoing development, the transparency, the roadmap. You got to keep your resellers and your customers educated with what you're doing, because if you don't tell them what's going on, they're not going to know. They don't know. They're not going to stay excited, and then they might lose the momentum of selling. This is what's important. You need business mobility. You need collaboration, staff management. It's great if you got 2, 3, 4 staff members. What really matters is when you got 50, 60 staff, you keep them all in line. You need a customer relation management system, something that will interact with your customers and keep you organized. It'll be great if you got a handful of customers, but when you start getting a whole hoop load of them, a couple hundred of them, you're going to run into problems. You need to stay organized. Customer relation management or a CRM system is what you need.
That goes very nicely into the next slide about lubricating the process, but would you go through that process idea a little bit for us?
Absolutely. Lubricating the process is very simple. You got to make sure everything goes without a hiccup or gears not grinding or something not locking up. You need organizational efficiency, because if you're not efficient, you're just going to spin your wheels. You're not going to get traction. You're not going to sell. You need to offer superior to second to none customer service and support, because if you're not going to offer that to your customers, they will find someone who will. Marketing assistance to promote the product. You need that. You need to be able to provide that. If it's not provided to you, well, you're just going to have to reinvent the wheel. The big automakers, I like to use them as an example. They provide the videos, they provide the slick sheets, they provide all the marketing materials. You need that provided to you. If you don't have it, you're just going to waste your time, money, energy, and effort to get to it. Sales assistance, you need a vendor that is going to give you the assistance to increase your profit. You are going to walk into deals sometimes that are a little bit over your head. This is where the vendor comes in and helps you. It'll give more credibility to your name and help you achieve the sale.
That means, in a sense, a more efficient way of doing things. And it would seem to me that the more efficient your customers are for putting in a VoIP system, the more money they make and the fewer truck rolls they have to deal with.
Absolutely, Gary. Really, at the bottom line, let's just work our way from the bottom back to the top. Your account managers, they do what they do best, to sell. So in other words, they should be able to pass everything off. In other words, when something comes in or there's an interest, you need to make sure your pre-sales team deals with that interest. Is it worthy to be handed off to the account manager, yes or no? Make sure the rubbish is filtered out. You need to make sure the deployment does what they're supposed to. If it's not done properly, your account manager's phone's going to ring off the hook, and they're just going to be tied up returning phone calls. Post-sales support is very important. Not only that the account manager needs to stay in touch with the customer, but they need someone to stay in touch with the customer on a support side, because things will happen. I've never heard of a perfect deployment. They don't exist. There's always a surprise. You need to make sure everyone's in touch with the customer. Support. If you're not going to support the customer properly, the account manager's going to get the phone call. Then it's taking them away from what they do best, sell. And finally, finance, admin, and marketing. I can admit as an account manager, I'm guilty of not doing my admin work perfectly. I'm guilty of it. Get someone to help the account manager. Get them to deal with the finance, the accounts receivable. It shouldn't be up to the account manager. Remove those roadblocks. Let the account manager do what they do best, sell.
Now, do you have some advice continuing in the discussion of customer service?
Absolutely. Just because you got the handshake and you have the ink on the piece of paper doesn't mean it's over. This is where it starts. This is where you've now taken an egg and it's slowly growing into a chick, and it's slowly growing into a chicken and growing from there. Your customer is just like that. You need to make sure that whatever goes on is growing. You're in touch with the customer. You need to work with them. Your success is our success. Showing that a productivity gains will just simply bring more money to your pocket. Our partners have assigned account managers for any support on the sales side or advice to their customer, you. Because sometimes you're not going to be sure. A simple phone call might just make your life that much easier. What do you think of this or that? Bounce them off your account manager. They're there to help. It's in their best interest to make sure you make more money.
Now, one of the things that I get concerned about is when someone's trying to get into this business, they may not know how to market this. How do you support the marketing efforts of your clients?
Well, Gary, it's simple. The more money you make, the more money we make. The more you sell, the more you buy from us. So if we make your life that much easier by giving you the PDFs, the videos, the PowerPoints, the educasts, we're giving you the tools in your tool belt to be able to effectively do your job and sell, just like the big automakers out there. If you got to spend your time and spend marketing dollars reinventing the wheel, you're not at the right place.
Now, you've talked about marketing assistant, but that gets also into the just everyday sales assistants. How does that work?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're dealing with an account manager who's just not only a pretty face. You got someone who's got experience-based advice coming for you, marketing materials and ideas, references, reseller channel admin support. Yes, it's a single point of contact on the sales aspect, but the resources available to the account managers here is huge. They'll make your life easier and they'll help you win the deals.
That gets into my feeling of, am I satisfied, both as can I satisfy my customers and am I satisfied in deploying the service?
At the end of the day, Gary, maximum satisfaction is achieved through value-adding features on a competitive edge. If you stay static, so will your customer base, and it'll slowly dwindle off. Custom solutions to help win the next deal, because it's never cookie cutter, it's never simple. There's always something that someone wants that you don't have. And productivity gains to make your life that much easier. If you're more productive, you're going to be able to sell more.
You talked about features, but what are value-added features that you're talking about here?
Well, let me use McDonald's as an example. You got your regular hamburger, right? And you add your cheese and you add this and that. And, you know, you can bring up the price. You need to make sure to your customers you're able to bring a unified communication solution which can grow. You'll be able to give automated billing. That way it makes your life that much easier. Mobility clients for them, collaboration tools, integration with industry-leading products and CRM software. Because you know what? That is the big buzzword going on right now, CRM. And productivity tools to make you more productive and your customer more productive. Because if they see value in your product, they'll bite onto it a lot more.
Now, as a vendor of VoIP services, I encounter customers who say, I want a custom design, I want something special. Is that really a good idea, or should you be selling something which is just off the shelf?
Well, if you want to sell something off the shelf, put it in a box and throw it on the shelf. Because really that's what it is. You're going to want someone who wants something funky. You'll never know what your next customer wants. A sale can be lost due to a missing feature or lack of compatibility. Custom solutions, well, you'll never know what your next customer gets. We got a customer, they came to us. Their deal breaker literally was they needed the national anthem played over all the phones at 9 o'clock. And that was literally the deal breaker. We were able to come through and deliver it for them on a custom development side. That was the signed, sealed, and delivery of the deal.
Part of the reason I went to VoIP as a customer is to improve my own productivity. So there are a number of systems that I may have to deploy or even work with. Can you discuss that productivity gains?
Well, to be more productive, you got to make everyone's lives easier. IVR is a real key thing. You know, that can get to the right person. That can get the person to the right place. CRM, know who you're working with. Note the account. Maybe someone's sick, or you know, you lost an employee, or they're not around for the day. It's all in the system. That way, there you don't have to make 30,000 phone calls to find out what's going on with Joe's Plumbing. Unified communications, you can be chatting on the phone with the customer and messaging someone in support or somewhere else to get a quick answer. It makes your life easier. Cost savings, well, least cost routing, there's a lot of features out there that'll save you money. Ergonomics, it'll feel good. Remote working, you're not tied to a desk. You can work anywhere. That way there, you need to work 20 minutes on a weekend here and there, you'll be able to do so from home. That is what helps with VoIP.
Where do we start then?
Well, simple. BicomSystems.com/customer loyalty, or the Telco in the Box brochure, you can download it, BicomSystems.com/Telco in a Box, all with hyphens in the middle, or learn how to grow or start your ITSP, BicomSystems.com/how to start an ITSP, all with an underscore. The links will be all sent to the Educast afterwards. Do take a look at these brochures or these PDFs. Take a look at them, learn them, and I'm almost positive you'll be able to make some good decisions through them.
Now, you're from Bicom Systems, but we really haven't just said to the audience here who is and why Bicom Systems.
Well, with Bicom Systems, as I mentioned at the beginning, it's all about the puzzle. It's making sure you have all the pieces of the puzzle. When something goes wrong, nothing's perfect. Nothing will ever not break. Something will break. It's one throat to strangle. What we have in the box for you is Serverware, a cloud IP service delivery platform with flexible, scalable, 99.999% redundant, and an easy-to-use GUI for administration. That way there you don't have to learn lines of code. PBXware, our IP PBX turnkey solution for business communications and call center. It's flexible, reliable, scalable. This is where the core of the telephony happens. This is the heart of everything. Telcoware is a provisioning platform that configures natively with PBXware to perform your billing, your ticketing, support, your account management, your accounts receivable, your shopping cart, and more. Why spend time with the accounting software out there extracting CDRs and wasting days and days of time when you can just go into a product and click a button every month and boom, your invoices are fired off. Boom, it just charged your customer's credit card.
You've used the term telco in a box, but that's your term. Would you define that for the audience?
Well, Gary, there was a couple other pieces of telco in the box, but essentially it's just a product. What we offer has everything. It's a turnkey. So in other words, you go in, you walk in, you grab the box, and it has all the pieces of the puzzle in there. A couple other things that we haven't touched is SIP-Prot. It's an advanced SIP security module that protects against SIP attacks. Unlike other solutions out there, SIP-Prot works with live traffic. The other ones work off log files. So by the time your server's on its knees, well, it's a little too late. SIPMon is a quality assurance monitoring system that monitors the quality of the calls, lets you know ahead of time when your customers are having problems. That way there, you're able to proactively contact your customer and work with them to get the issue resolved. Because you're going to have the ones that will call you and say, hey, I'm having issues with my line, and they'll give you a hard time. And eventually, if you can't get it resolved, you'll go away. SIPMon points in that direction where the problem is. Or you'll have the customers that won't say anything, and you won't know about it, and they'll leave you. Glowcom UC tool, desktop and mobile application. It's a great desk phone control with soft phone capabilities. It's a heart of unified communication and enhances and simplifies day-to-day business communication. And our brand new IP key system. We've reinvented the traditional key system. Your old line 1, line 2, line 3 strategy is now IP technology with VoIP. It combines the stability in tried, tested, and true products with the innovations of VoIP.
Now, I'd like to bring up some points here about resources available to those listening here, the brochures, the telco in the blocks. But I'd also want to point out a Telecom Reseller. If you go to podcasts, you'll find a number of podcasts by Bicom Systems plus Educasts that we've done in the previous series. If you're interested in now contacting Bicom Systems, you can learn more at the website, but also you can contact them at sales@bicomsystems.com. You could also join the Telecom Service Providers Network, which provides a forum, a networking capability among those who are in this business. Well, I'd like to thank you very much and hope that everyone's gained something from this presentation. Thank you, Kevin.
You're quite welcome, Gary. Thank you, everybody.